Well, hello, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Mel.
And here's our top 10 spots on Route 66. Let's get started. So last year, we finally got to drive Route 66 all the way from Chicago to LA. It's 2,448 miles through 8 states, and it's the iconic driving road, Route 66.
We did some extra stops along the way as
Yeah,
well,
we
didn't
did extra stops. You can do it in about 10 to 11 days, but if you want to make the most of it and actually see some places, the longer the better. And even over 3 weeks, we still had to rush, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I think we did over 3,000 miles in the end.
We're hoping to go back as soon as possible and do it in reverse from LA back to Chicago.
That would be good.
Yeah, it'll be good. And even for people that do it, you know, they've done it 10, 11 times. Every time you go, you discover something new.
And something quirky.
Something quirky.
And strange.
So anyway, these are our top 10. And there were too many to choose, and we've got some honourable mentions at the end. And you may have, you know, a different perspective if you've done it. So anyway, these are the 10 things that we enjoyed and why. So let's get started.
I think we'll have some arguments on this.
Yeah, I think there's some arguments coming up.
Number 10, the Gemini giant, Wilmington. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Wilmington,
Illinois.
Illinois there, yeah. The big green muffler man with the space helmet holding a rocket.
Okay.
You've probably seen it in the Route 66 books. And there are a lot of muffler men in Illinois, aren't there?
What are muffler men, Marcus?
They're big giant statues of men advertising different things.
I think
the muffler was the exhaust system, wasn't it? I think they used to hold those.
I think they used to be related to cars.
But they've all been used now to advertise various roadside attractions. And in Illinois, they've got quite a few. But one of the most famous is the Gemini giant. And it's only not far from Chicago. And we picked this because when you first see this as you drive out of Chicago on Route 66, it's really the first of those recognisable
markers of Route 66.
Yeah, so you know you're on your way, so you're getting excited. It's next door to
the launching pad,
which had been closed but it's been reopened, and it looked quite nice when we were there.
Little retro dino with a little museum on the side.
Yeah, and also the muffler man had been spruced up.
Yeah, so he had a look at paint and was looking almost brand new.
Almost brand new,
almost.
Yeah. So that's a little stop. Number 10, the Gemini giant. Number 9, Pontiac and the Route 66 Hall of Fame Museum.
In Illinois.
Illinois, yep. So Pontiac's not a big town, but there's quite a lot to see and do in Pontiac. And one of the main things is the Route 66 Hall of Fame Museum. And it contains the old bus and van of Bob Waltmeyer.
That's right.
Yeah, and Bob Waltmeyer was
he's like an official artist of Route 66
yeah,
at some point.
Yeah, he's a quirky character. He used to drive up and down Route 66, painting the scenes of the old gas stations and life on Route 66. His parents
own the Cozy Dog Driving?
Yeah, the Cozy Dog Driving in Springfield. And that's where they invented
the Cozy Dog.
The Cozy Dog, which is like those corn dog things on a stick.
Yeah.
Quite a novelty for British people to have one of those.
It's like a corn dog batter with like almost like a Savoy sausage inside.
Yeah.
And it sounds more disgusting than it actually is. It is quite nice.
That's going into details for sausages. Anyway, back to Pontiac, as well as the museum. And by the way, the staff are really friendly in all these places.
Mm-hmm.
So
they really like the fact that you've come all the way, especially if you're an international traveller, to explore Route 66.
So as well as that, around Pontiac, there's lots of murals on the wall. And one of the most famous is the giant Route 66 shield. It's on the back of the museum. And in front of it, or just alongside, is one of Bob Waltmeyer's bus that you can walk through. And also, in front of the mural, they've got some original bricks from Route 66, which you're allowed to drive your bike or car up to, so you can have a photograph of you in front of the big mural. So, as well, I think they've got a trail around Pontiac. So we spent about an hour there.
We could have spent longer.
Yeah,
actually.
that's the thing. You go
I
to
think
these...
the museum was like 2 levels as well.
Yeah, they had like a war museum as well. That's the thing. You go to these places, and some have so much more than you expect. So anyway, definitely Pontiac. That was number 9, wasn't it, for us?
And we started to meet there, I think, some of the travellers that we saw on a few stops along the way.
I think on the first section we met that they were in some American sports. I can't remember what cars they had, but we saw them for the next couple of days. So at number 9, Pontiac and the Route 66 Hall of Fame Museum.
So number 8 is the MidPoint Cafe in Adrian, Texas.
Yeah, 1,139 miles from Chicago and 1,139 miles to LA, hence the name.
MidPoint.
There's not much there apart from a line across the road, a sign, and the MidPoint Cafe. But it's the halfway. You have to stop at the halfway point.
And the MidPoint Cafe is very good for pie, ugly crust pie.
Yeah.
And had the best lemon meringue pie I think I've ever had, except for my own, of course.
Yeah.
And the amazing array of pies, and you can have hot dogs and fries, and it's just like a little cute cafe, and it's definitely worth the stop.
And again, we bumped into some of those New Zealand bikers doing the trip. So, yeah, like I said, you get a little community on the way, don't you?
You do.
And also, one with a photograph in the sign, it was the scabbiest looking cat I've ever seen in my life. So that was number 8, the MidPoint Cafe, Adrian, Texas.
So, what's number 7, Marcus?
Number 7 is Gary's Gay Parita, Missouri.
Okay.
So, what's that, you ask?
It's
an old Sinclair gas station. An old Route 66 gas station. Used to be run by Gary Turner, but now it's run by a bloke called George. And it's full of old cars, junk, memorabilia from Route 66. You'll come across a lot of these on Route 66. But what sets this one apart for us was the welcome we got.
Very, very friendly.
Really friendly. They had free drinks.
Free Coke, watermelon, ice cream.
Yep.
Free ice cream for you. They got a little shop that you can buy a postcard, or a little memorabilia shop there as well. But it's just a really nice place to stop and have a drink and maybe meet other people on the route.
Yeah, we stayed there for about an hour chatting to some people doing Route 66 and obviously the owner. Yeah, like I said, you come across a lot of these old gas stations, but this one, they were particularly friendly. And on the road outside, they've got a really good Route 66 shield. Yeah. So that's Gary's Gay Parita, Missouri, just outside Springfield, Missouri, I think. Yep.
What's number 6, Marcus?
Number 6 is Seligman, Arizona. So is it, I still don't know, is it Seligman or Seligman?
That's why I had you to say that, because I wasn't sure.
I thought it was Seligman, but I think people say Seligman. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Back to the place. This is what a lot of people imagine, and the area around it, Route 66, to be. It's like a living version of the animated Pixar film Cars, isn't it? You can really see where they got the inspiration from. In 1987, the town became the birthplace of historic Route 66. They got together and trying to reverse the fortunes of these towns that have been cut off by the highway. And the main person behind the group in Seligman, Arizona was Angel, who used to run a small barber shop and watch the town die. So we were lucky enough, we met Angel. He's still alive when we were there. He's in his 90s. He cycled to work.
Yeah.
So he's still a bit of a character. But also, you walk through the town, there's some bizarre shops. Angel's brother used to run the Snowcap Drive-In. There's the Rusty Bolt, which is a bizarre shop with weird stuff. Everything's got weird stuff in. And then there's the Roadkill Cafe.
Oh, that's in
Yeah.
Seligman, isn't it?
Yeah, which isn't actually roadkill.
No.
So I don't expect to have like maggot-infested armadillo and stuff like that. It's just...
That's what I was really expecting.
yeah. It is an interesting place. And what made it for us was to see Angel in person as well.
Didn't he threaten to sort of like cut
Yeah,
your throat?
he did threaten to give me a shave and cut my throat. So that was...
I bought a t-shirt in the shop there.
Yeah, there we are.
Route 66 t-shirt.
That was Seligman, Arizona.
Number 5, the Meteor Crater, Arizona.
Yeah, just 25 miles outside Winslow is the Meteor Crater. It's just off Route 66 by a few miles. Signposted, easy to get to, is the crater.
It's
and you have to see it. It's an amazing
yeah.
sight. You have to pay to get in, and it's not that cheap. It's privately owned, but you know, it's amazing to see it in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, this huge crater.
Impact crater. It's a mile across
Yeah.
and over 500 feet deep. They have a free tour, don't they?
Yeah, you went on the free tour.
Yeah.
You saw it was really strange.
Insect, yeah.
Insect.
Big thing with, I don't know what they were.
I didn't do the
It's
tour.
something we don't get in the UK in any case. So,
I think the tour's only about half an hour.
yeah,
an
because
hour.
obviously you're out in the baking
hour, I
sun
think.
in the desert. So it was really interesting.
But you can explore it. You don't have to do the tour. You can explore it.
And they've got a bit of a museum there as well.
Yeah.
And it's, I think NASA used it at one stage, didn't they?
Did they film Starman?
Yeah, the film Jeff Bridges. Is Jeff Bridges?
Yeah,
Starman was filmed there. Interesting place.
It's definitely worth seeing.
And what was amazing, because when we left the Meteor Crater, it's in the middle of the desert, you know, what you imagine, nothing there at all. But then you drive to the next stop is Flagstaff, and you go from the desert of nothing
Yeah.
to the forests of Flagstaff.
Yeah,
In that short drive, I think,
Yeah.
40 miles. In that 40 miles, the change in scenery is amazing, isn't it?
It is, definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's definitely worth visiting, I think.
So that was our number 5.
And I think that's one of my top ones.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4, Oatman, Arizona. This is a little touristy, but we are tourists after all. Yeah.
It's really
It's good fun. It's an old mining town, and the strange thing about it is it's full of wild burros.
Yeah, which are like
donkeys.
donkeys.
Yeah, and they're direct descendants of the donkeys the original miners brought to the area.
Was it like gold mines?
Yeah, gold mines.
miners.
They brought these donkeys, and obviously they escaped, or when they finished with them, they let them go, and they bred, and now these donkeys run the town basically. They're in the shops. They're bothering you for food.
Mating in the streets?
Yeah, mating in the streets. I've got me excited. Yeah, it's good fun. And even though it's touristy with all these things going on, it is a historic town. It isn't just created for tourists. It was an old gold mining town.
What we didn't do, which I would like to do again, is go into the Oatman Hotel.
Yeah.
Because that looked really cool.
Yeah.
But we sort of missed it somehow. Did somebody famous stay there?
Yeah, Clark Gable and Carol Lombard had their honeymoon in the Oatman Hotel.
Yeah, I think you can see the room, can you?
I think so, yeah.
You can see the room that they stayed in on their honeymoon night.
Again, you're going through, the drive down to Oatman is good. You go over the Sitgreaves Pass, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
The drive to Oatman's quite exciting as well. But it's a fun...
It's quite a hairy in places, just put it like that.
As well as the donkeys, they've got a gunfight.
So what, I think it was about...
High noon.
Was it high noon?
No, I think
it's about 1 o'clock.
I think they have one at... Check for details. I think there's one at around midday and one around 2. So we arrived just in time to catch the afternoon. Yeah. It was a good fun.
It was good fun.
So they do it for charity. So
it's definitely worth trying to time your visit for that.
Yeah, that's where the donkeys sport the show by getting amorous in the background. So definitely worth the trip. Oatman, Arizona.
Number 3, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The Santa Fe Loop was the original alignment to Route 66 from, I think, 1926 to 1937. Went up to Santa Fe. And we loved Santa Fe, didn't we?
Santa Fe is like nothing else on Route 66. It's...
A lot of American towns can be quite samey. And as you drive in, you see the same chains and things like that. But the architecture in Santa Fe...
The adobe architecture.
Yeah.
It's basically made from mud and other organic materials. So you've got different sort of buildings.
The Spanish, I think, is based upon the Native American style of buildings used to be there.
And then there's a big artistic community. So there are lots of sort of independent shops selling artwork. It's got a different vibe.
It's quite a wealthy area, isn't it? I think Santa Fe.
It is very wealthy.
Yeah.
It's not rough and ready like most of the little towns on Route 66. It's quite upmarket.
And I think it's quite strict on building regulations by the looks of it, because everything's in keeping with the Adobe style architecture.
Yeah.
And we spent 2 days there just to relax and unwind and use the swimming pool.
I mean, a really good hotel, didn't we? That was a great hotel.
So, yeah, we're glad we stopped there for 2 days and definitely take the Santa Fe loop and visit Santa Fe.
And if you're into art, try and time it so you can go to see Meow Wolf. It was closed on the Tuesday we were there. Meow Wolf is a sort of modern art exhibition. It's really hard to describe. It's sort of like immersive art where you go and explore things. And we missed it because it was closed on a Tuesday.
Yeah, we had to leave the next day as well.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, Santa Fe, definitely worth a visit. And that was our number 3.
I can hear you.
Been interrupted by a strange creaky door.
You can cut the video, whatever.
Number 2, the Petrified Forest National Park,
Arizona.
Arizona. Be serious now.
I am.
You'll find the park not far from the New Mexico-Arizona border on the way to Winslow. We got there
late
afternoon.
Bit too late, to be honest.
Yeah, you could spend a few days there, to be honest.
And I was tired when I got there, so it's hard when you've been driving. We were a long day driving
I think we spent a bit too long driving that day.
We were like 6-8 hours driving.
But we wish we had more time. You've got the painted desert there. There's ancient petroglyphs, wall paintings and symbols.
You well say that.
Yeah.
Petroglyphs.
Wildlife. They've got an original part of Route 66. The Route 66 used to run through the park, and they've got a memorial, an old rusty car, and a plaque about Route 66, and you can still see the row of old telegraph poles that used to line the road. So that's there as well. And obviously, one of the most famous things in the area is the Petrified Forest itself. What these are like fossilized
wood?
Logs. Hundreds and hundreds of fossilized logs. Apparently, they were washed down in a flood, then covered with like a volcanic silt, and this silt was rich in silica soaked into the trees, and then they were buried, and over thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, they were fossilized, and then the ground around eroded, and basically these trees are now where they fell have all been fossilized, and they look like fiberglass trees, sort of thing you would find in Disney worlds, you know, in the West. They're really bizarre. They look like wood, but they're like quartz material.
Yeah.
And some are really big, aren't they?
So especially if you're really into nature and really want to see it, I would suggest you try and plan that in earlier on in your day rather than late in your day like we did.
And there's like hikes and stuff you can do. There's a lot to do. You have to look at the Petrified Forest National Park website and see what's available. So it's a shame. That's one of the things we didn't know when we were driving through. I thought it was a few fossilized trees and that was it. So So
You didn't research that very well, did you?
a place to visit next time in more detail, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's number 2. So before we get to number 1, we've got a few honourable mentions.
Okay.
And we have to say the biggest one for me was the Grand Canyon.
But technically, it's not on Route 66.
I know, but...
So if you... Wait a minute. If you're going to have the Grand Canyon, I can have Sedona. Because Sedona's not on Route 66, but we did it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they're
there we
both
are.
nice. But the
Sedona
Grand
and the
Canyon,
Grand Canyon.
it's only about a 50-minute drive from Williams to the Grand Canyon. And you have to do it, so...
And Williams is a good place to stop as well.
Yeah, Williams and the Grand Canyon. What else have we got?
You've got another bridge.
The old Chain of Rocks Bridge. Unfortunately, that's on the border between Illinois and Missouri, but we couldn't get there because the Mississippi had flooded, so they cut off the whole area, so we couldn't even get to the bridge. So that's meant to be interesting. We'll do that next time. And also the Devil's Elbow Bridge.
Why have you got 2 bridges in all the places you could put in? And you put 2 bridges.
There's a lot of bridges there. So the Devil's Elbow Bridge. And, excuse me, our delinquent son's staring at us.
Am I cramping your style?
Get out.
Ooh.
Get out. We'll cut there now. Another one. El Rancho Hotel.
El Rancho,
Gallup, New Mexico.
I think El Rancho should be higher up.
A lot of people love or hate this place and say Gallup's not a place to go to. But we loved
I think the El Rancho, Hotel was really good.
Yeah.
Because it is a hotel that was built by D.W. Griffiths, the film director's brother, for all the film stars to come to.
Yeah, when they
were filming in the desert.
Filming westerns in the desert.
And it's full of memorabilia of all these film stars that stayed there. It's really interesting.
Talking of hotels,
yes,
one of the nicest we stayed in.
La Posada.
Yeah, it was a nice atmosphere there. La Posada in Winslow, Arizona. We stayed there when we weren't standing on the corner.
Yeah, that's right. And it's obviously worth going to see the stands on the corner.
It's actually still a railway station. It actually a stop for the trains. And the railway track runs right at the end of the garden.
Yeah, this isn't like one of the little classic Route 66 motels. This is a really lovely hotel, and prices reflect it. But it's still
it's not super expensive.
Not super expensive.
Yeah.
I think the night there was about
I can't remember.
£100, £120.
Again, don't expect it to be super modern because it is an original building.
Yeah.
You know. But still, you really get the atmosphere.
And it's got a top-notch restaurant.
Yeah, the food was good. Anyway, before we get to number 1, any other places, Mel?
Tulsa.
Tulsa. I was surprised at Tulsa. We only spent one day there. We wish we had more time.
Quite interesting.
Tulsa.
Interesting architecture there in Tulsa.
Anyway.
Art Deco.
I think it's time to get to number 1.
Well then, what's your number 1, Marcus?
Number 1 is Santa Monica Pier, California.
Okay, why is that your number 1?
Because it's the end.
Or the beginning.
Or the beginning. But in most cases, it's the end.
Of Route 66.
In some ways, it was quite sad.
It was quite sad.
Because it was the end.
And when you get there, is it the official end?
No, it is now sort of thing. Because originally, I think, wrote it down, in 1926, it was 7th and Broadway, downtown LA.
Okay.
Was the
official end.
Then it moved to, I think, into Lincoln and Olympic in Santa Monica on intersections. Okay. But obviously, you drive across most of America, and you know you're going to go to the sea, aren't you? You have to get to the Pacific. So I think in 2009 they put up a sign, end of Route 66 on Santa Monica Pier.
But Santa Monica Pier, very busy place. But what's really good, which I really enjoyed, was the little hut on the end of, not on the end of Santa Monica Pier. It's sort of like in the middle, opposite.
It's Bubba Gump's,
opposite Bubba Gump's. There's a little hut there, and the people there the man there was ever so friendly.
What they do a little interview with you to check you've done Route 66.
66.
Then you can get a little certificate.
Like this. Marcus and Melissa completed the length of historic Route 66 from Chicago to Santa Monica. And now we're road scholars.
There we are.
There we are.
Of the Mother Road. The Mother Road is another term for
And
Route
obviously,
66.
when you get to Santa Monica, it's totally different. You spent the time driving through small towns, away from the busy roads, and all of a sudden, bang, you're in Santa Monica,
Yeah.
LA, traffic, people.
Yeah.
It's somebody.
Santa Monica Pier is always incredibly busy.
Yeah.
But it was really good because when you went there, we sort of chatted to was it Ian?
I think it was Ian, yeah.
In the little kiosk, chatted about the route, and he's done it quite a few times, and gives you the certificate.
After we did that, I just felt like getting in the car and driving back again.
It's almost a little bit of deflation, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because you've
Like,
done it.
it's all
this
over now.
time, and yeah.
So it's really good to be there, and
Are we going to do it in reverse? I didn't know you were going to do that.
Yeah, do it in reverse.
I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
So start at Santa Monica and go to Chicago.
Anyway, that's it, Mel. Those were our 10 spots on Route 66. To be honest, we could have done 100 spots on Route 66.
We could have, yeah definitely.
So hopefully you'll get to go soon. We want to go back as soon as we can and explore in more detail. Yep. So anyway, if you've done it, what are your favourite places on Route 66?
Tell us below.
Anyway, until next time, that's the bye from me.
And bye from me. Goodbye.
You sound like a kids' TV presenter then.
Thanks for that.